Tomahawk missiles. The Crown Prince has to show, for his domestic consumption and his family, most importantly, that he's in charge, okay? And this blistering attack against Iran, which is nothing new, but it has a new variant because it's, again, using this sectarian language. Go ahead, Mohammed in Tehran.
Well, one of the extraordinary things that we're seeing is that in the Western media, the Western media, which is silent about the rise of cases of cholera in Yemen and starvation, and they're silent about the fact that the head of Al-Qaeda in Yemen has admitted that they're fighting alongside American-backed forces in the country against the Ansar Allah or the Houthis and so on. So they're silent about that. But what they are saying is that they're trying to represent Saudi Arabia as the representative of Sunni Islam. And I think that's a huge injustice to Sunnis across the world, because Saudi Arabia basically promotes Wahhabism, the same ideology that Al-Qaeda in Yemen promotes, the same ideology that Al-Qaeda in Syria promotes, the same ideology that ISIS uses. All these different groups, along with Boko Haram and others, they have a similar ideology as that of Saudi Arabia. That is Wahhabism, and that is not mainstream Sunni Islam. But the United States and in Europe, media outlets that are close to the government, the mainstream media, they have a vested interest, as well as think tanks, to show Saudi Arabia as the representative of the Sunni world. Not only is this sectarianism that is being promoted by Saudi, Qatari, and other governments that are oil-rich in the Persian Gulf region, not only is this narrative being promoted by them, sectarianism, which dehumanizes the people of Yemen and justifies the massacre of the people of Yemen. They also use Iran as a scapegoat to justify, the mass starvation of the people of that country. But in addition to that, what they do is they give Muslims across the world a bad name, because people see Saudi Arabia in the West, many, as representative of mainstream Islam, which it isn't. And then when they see the terrorist activities in Europe and Paris and Brussels and across the world, then they attribute it to ordinary Muslims in England or in France or in Germany, who are taxpayers, who live like everyone else, who have families, and who are loyal to their own nations.
Let me ask.
Increasing hatred.
Let me go back to Mohammed in London. I mean, one of the interesting things again is that Trump was talking about fighting ISIS, defeating ISIS, and he's visiting a country that has given ISIS and those kinds of groups oxygen to breathe, to survive. I mean, there are people in the administration that have to understand that, though it wouldn't be politically correct to do it, because there's so much money to go around. And their domestic political agendas in Saudi Arabia, and of course Trump has to worry about his problems back home. I mean, are they just blinded by this, or they think they can just somehow finesse it? Because it doesn't take much effort to find out the connections between Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries and these terrorist groups fighting in Syria. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, first, I don't think it's a question of representation, because at the end of the day, you can have who does represent Sunni Islam. Is it